Let's go straight to the wonderful Peta Credlin on a totally different subject. Peter, good evening to you and thank you for your time. I just wanted to raise with you...
I was just listening to that, Alan, hydroxychloroquine. I'd love a bit of just vitamin D and fresh air down here in locked up Victoria. Even that'd be a start.
Good on you. Good on you. Listen, during the global financial crisis, Labor introduced legislation for a $42 billion stimulus package. Malcolm Turnbull, the opposition leader, said, these examples demonstrate the reckless manner in which the Labor government is spending taxpayers' money. He said, this waste of borrowed money is made worse by the fact that Kevin Rudd and Wayne Swan are leading Australia into record debt. He said, wasting taxpayers' money now means fewer options for essential services like health and education in the future. Wasting taxpayers' money also means higher debt and higher taxes. Peter, that was $42 billion. We're heading towards $400 billion. How on earth is the government going to defend that?
I think we're going to have some tough debates in Australia as to where we draw the line and what family benefits are, what's welfare. We know going into this crisis, 40% of Australian households pay tax and 60% of Australian households pay no net tax. So the 40% who paid tax were carrying the 60% who were paying no net tax. Are we prepared to have those tough conversations? I don't know that we are. I mean, these state premiers are racking up the debt left, right and centre. They know their only public measure is the COVID numbers, the death rate, etc., every single night. And they know that Scott Morrison, in what could well be an election year next year, will carry the can, so they hope, on the economy. Now, that's why Scott Morrison's really got to flush them out and force the issue that they own the decisions they make, not just in health terms.
That's right. That's right. They make the decisions. Well. And think Canberra will prop them up. You see, Andrews was asked who recommended the curfew. He said he couldn't remember. So the bloke's been wrong on quarantining. My information is, you're closer to the action down there than I am, Peter. They were counting heads in the Labor Party last week. Do you know anything about that?
There's a lot of jostling going on. I mean, I've spoken to senior Labor people here, federal ones predominantly, some state ones around the edges. I don't think he's going to last beyond Christmas. I think he'll decide to go. He will not want to lose the election. I don't think he wants to be around to wear the economic consequences next year. I think his Labor ministers would love him to go so that they can have a fresh face and pretend, you know, nothing to see here or move on. I mean, today in the press conference, he was begging regional Victorians who are getting sort of, you know, 1 foot out of jail compared to Melburnians who are 100% locked in.
More division.
To thank him, thank him. You know, his plan has worked. Well, we wouldn't be in the situation with the second wave if it wasn't for him in the first place. And once it got out of the hotels, the contact tracing in Victoria has been just so abysmal. And only last week, 3.5 months into it, he decides to send someone to New South Wales for a fact-finding mission. I mean, come on.
See, it's the plight of dictators, as you know, Peter. Once dictators are headed in one direction, nothing will change them. And so you've got this biggest issue here now, it's fear. Why doesn't someone say... And I ask you again that 99% of these cases are mild and 99.75% of those who contract the virus recover. I mean, today there are 123 people across Australia in hospital and 18 in intensive care. I'm just concerned that fear has overtaken so many Australians.
I think we are very close to the position, though, in Victoria now that the Emperor has got no clothes.
Yeah.
Right, the Labor people are backing him in with this I stand for Dan rubbish and hashtags, etc., etc. And obviously, Conservatives have been long sceptical about his incompetence and handling of all of this. And yes, look, I'm with them. When we were, at 700 cases a day, there was a real sense that they would not be able to manage this down. Now, they actually haven't managed anything. They've just locked people up. That's why there's no transmission. It's not clever science. But I think Victorians are now seeing that this has just been a magnitude of errors. And the stuff about the curfew, Alan, the point you made before, the Chief Health Officer saying, well, it wasn't me. Andrew sort of sitting on the fence going, well, I think it was the police. The police coming out and saying, hang on, it wasn't us either. I think that really cut through last week. Really cut through.
See, Peter, you just made a very valid point before because they are going to release or relieve the restrictions on regional Victoria. Now, the police have been told today, the exact words, quote, this is Andrews, Victorian police will make sure that the border between Melbourne and regional Victoria is as hard as it possibly can. So here are Victorians...
Ring of steel.
What? What the hell?
Ring of steel. I can't see my sister. I see my mum twice this year, once at a distance, once that she let me inside the house. I mean, but I haven't seen my mum more than twice this year. There are so many people I know. People aren't just born in the city and live in the city. Country people go to the city. City people go to the country. It's bad enough that we've got these divisions between states, but now we're having divisions inside
within a
states.
state.
This
within
is outrageous.
A state. Border the perimeter.
Outrageous.
See, the Jewish community now will mark their new year without their rabbi and their extended friends for the first time in their history. Melbourne synagogues will be closed. I mean, the synagogue is central to introspection, their connection to God, connection to family, connection to community. And the Jewish holidays begin at sundown on Friday. The lockdown will go into October.
Well, they have my sympathy because all the cathedrals and churches in Melbourne have been closed too. Let's not forget Easter. You can have your Black Lives Matter protest, but you can't walk into a Catholic church, and I've been to a Catholic church plenty of times nowadays. There's plenty of room to have a congregation in there and a bit of social distancing given the size of the churches. It's like the secular state in Victoria is actually quite happy to shut all of these things down. Big brouhaha on the weekend, Alan, about the last rites to dying Catholics.
Dreadful.
Yeah. Very mixed messages.
Well, good on the bishops.
Deliberate mixed messages.
Good on the bishops.
Well, there's been a whole lot of priests who have gone in undercover, basically,
good on them.
in to give people last rites. I think it stinks. It's disgusting, and I'm glad that it's been out.
Well, I know it stinks. Now, listen, can I post you a few vitamin D tablets and a little bit of fresh air, and I'll see you next week.
Come and rescue me. Come on. Come and rescue me.
I'd love to, and taste your beautiful, beautiful soup.